We all have roles. You know, a lot of the time I talk about this, and I'm not talking about the rolls on our belly, or the rolls for breakfast. That's R-O-L-E, roll, like a role in life. And, you know, a lot of the time I talk about, you know, deciding what to be and going to be it. And, you know, what does that mean? Who do you want to be? But a lot of the time we decide we are already something and we're just unable to do it well. Or we decide we're already doing something, but we really only kind of half do it. Like we do it when it's convenient or when it makes us look good. Or sometimes we'll show ourselves doing this role in a social media setting, in a public space. And then it's not necessarily our true self. So take ownership of your role. In order to take ownership of anything, you need to decide what that is first, right? I mean, often we talk about even moving forward with goals in life, you have to decide what those goals are before you can actually set up the map to get there. But same goes for a role, and that can be a professional career role. I mean, if you're a musician and you want to have a role as a famous musician or as a popular musician, then that's cool. But really, I think more specifically, as an individual, like what are your roles? For me, it's a parent. For me, it's an entrepreneur. For me, it's a coach, a provider. And so all these different things that I see value in. So I guess when I think about a role, and I'm thinking about my own example here, these are things that I feel are important for me to do, and that they will have a result that will benefit my legacy. You know, parenthood is obviously, I think, top of the list. But yeah, so that's my role. And so as my role, you know, by taking ownership of that, you don't let excuses get in the way. You don't let procrastination get in the way, because this is my role. This is what I'm here to do. This is what I've agreed to do. And so take ownership of your role. So today my message is that. First, obviously, you have to decide what your role is. Decide which roles that you play are most important to you, and maybe which ones aren't. Maybe, for many of us, and I think this was me in a lot of areas of my life for a long time, we've decided that we are to play a role in life. We've gotten used to playing that role, but it's not really serving us anymore. As we grow through life and have different experiences and decide that life is changing a little bit and we become different people, sometimes parenthood, sometimes maturity, sometimes just the circumstance comes into play and changes our role. And we hold on to that old role for too long. And not only does it not serve us, but it actually brings us down and hinders us from making some of those important shifts in our life to be more on purpose and to be more of who our life is trying to lead us to be, but we're fighting it because we're stuck in our old roles. So, you know, decide what your role is going to be. Decide your important roles. At the end of the day, who am I? At the end of my life, who was I? What did I do? What was my most important role? And step into that and take ownership of it. Pick one if you want, or pick multiple, whatever works better for you. I'd suggest probably starting off with just one. Take ownership of your role, decide who you want to be and go be it. As I've said many times, we're just putting a different language on it tonight. It's not just about a career, it's not just about who I want to be as a human, but it's getting clarity around what your roles are, the current roles you play, whether they serve you or not. And if they do, then take ownership of them and doing them appropriately. And the more you start to take ownership of that role, the more prevalent it will be in your life. And so that's why it's important to choose roles that serve you and your purpose, but decide what they are, focus on them, be the best that you can be at that role so you can not only serve your life and your purpose, but you can guide and set an example as others who also look up to you or are learning from you, whether you know it or like it or not.